All right, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to this week's Corn Belt Umpires Zoom Lunch Clinic. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Jake Samp. I am joined by Jason Baith, and today we are going to talk about fly ball coverage and catch no catch. So, without further ado, Mr. Baith, the floor is yours.
All right, I got to share my screen here quick. Think it should be up. You guys got it?
Yeah, I got you.
Perfect. All right. So, afternoon, everybody. As Jake said, my name is Jason Vaith. I will be talking through a little bit today about in the two-man umpire system, which is a majority of us work, fly ball coverage and catch no catch. So just kind of a quick rundown here. The two umpire system is the basic set of mechanics for all umpires, regardless of as you continue to move on up the levels, work three-man, four-man. It's all based off the two-man system. And the two-man system is very much based on angle over distance. We want to get ourselves in the right position to see the play. We can't always be as close to things as we'd like to be, but if we can set up the right angle, we can get the correct call. So being able to move, being alert where we need to be. And as a final bullet point here, it's a two-umpire system is the most difficult as each umpire has the most responsibilities they have. In a three-man system, you have less responsibility than a two-man, and a four-man even less than three-man. So that's why as a two-man umpire, which is what a majority of us work, that is it is the toughest system to umpire in. But
So being able to move, one thing, I mean, you're absolutely correct. And the thing that I would add with the two umpire system is you have to be able to move with a purpose. You're absolutely correct when you say that the two umpire system is the hardest system to work. But one of the reasons for that is because there is just so much going on. And so making sure that you're really purposeful in each movement that you have on the field helps make the two umpire system a little bit easier to work.
absolutely. Well said there, Jake. So we're going to jump right into here is our fly ball coverage with no runners on. So I don't know if you guys can see here. Initial coverages, obviously the plate umpires behind the plate. U1 is going to be in our what we call the A position down the right field line in foul territory. On a fly ball, plate umpire has everything from directly out in front center field and everything towards the left field line. With nobody on, U1, who's in A, has everything from the center fielder to the right field line. U1 has a center fielder straight in and straight back, and any ball hit to right field is how, as you can see over here on my little verbiage that we put to the side for you. So pretty straight up. Everybody that's on this call has worked multiple games. You guys are well aware of that, but just a quick little refresher. It's never a bad thing to kind of have that baseline established. Then we'll move on to fair foul coverage with no runners on. Plate umpire has everything down the left field line and up the first baseline up to the front of the bag. U1 would then have everything from the bag to all the way out to the right field foul pole. Jake, do you have anything you want to add to that? I do know that as certain guys, when this is something we always pregame, do you want to go the plate umpire going to the front of the bag or the back of the bag? Do you have a preference there as far as what you do as a plate man or U1 or?
Yeah. So one thing that I do, and I definitely want Connor to toss his hat in here on this too, because um, there's a new trend that we have, at least at the college level, um, especially when I'm working, three umpire system with some guys. We don't go to the bag anymore. We go to the cut of the grass, unless U1 in this situation bails. And Jason, you're absolutely correct. Pregame here is essential. Okay. And one of the first things that needs to be discussed in pregame as it pertains to fair foul coverage, if U1 bails, that is plate umpire all day. But also, what does it mean for U1 to bail? Because, Jason, when you and I work together, you might take a read step to avoid the ball hitting you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're giving me the fair foul coverage in that situation.
Correct.
A read step isn't, at least when you and I work together, that's not you giving up your fair foul responsibility. Um, but if you're taking 2 or 3 steps, then I know you're saving yourself,
Right.
for lack of a better phrase. And so the general rule, and the image here is correct. The general rule is that the plate umpire has up to the bag, and then the base umpire has the bag and beyond. As I said, some people go to the cut of the grass, where instead of being at the uh, front of the bag, we're going to go right here. It's just easier on some fields to discern where that line is, as far as when my coverage would end as the plate umpire and your coverage as the base umpire would begin. Um, what I would tell 95% of the people on this call, the bag is certainly sufficient. But pregame, pregame, pregame. Know who has what responsibilities, when and where.
Exactly. And just to add on to that, I have worked with the guys in the past. So when you go to the pregame, oh, I just go by the book. That's not an acceptable answer. We don't. What book are we using here? Let's talk through this. Let's make sure we have these little nuances right, because when we don't address them, that's when it's going to come back and bite us in the gameplay. So just make sure we communicate that pregame.
So we got a lot of different books. There's this one. I don't think I have a CCA book in my office, but there's a CCA book, and I know where my Mechanics Illustrated is at. It's at home. There's a lot of different books. Don't ever have a pregame where it's just I'm by the book.
Yes. I have had guys try that. We don't do that. Okay. So now we're going to move on with runners on first base.
Connor, do you have anything? I saw you popped on.
Oh, sorry.
No. I missed part of what you said because I had to step out and do something, but communicate. Always have an opinion if you're on the line. Be ready for it to be your call. I think that's the biggest thing I can say, because things get screened out, things get blocked, players move, batter runners move. If you're on the line, be ready to have an opinion.
Great point. Thanks, Connor. So runner on first base here in this scenario, plate umpire still obviously behind the plate. U1 has now moved into what we consider the B position between first and second base over there. The plate umpire has the left fielder moving toward the left field line and right fielder moving toward the right field line. Whereas U1 will take everything what we call the B or the V. Sorry, we're in the B position. We call it in the V, which is outfield coverage from the left fielder straight in or straight back to the right fielder straight in or straight back at every play in center field. Connor, get the smirk off your face. That wasn't what was supposed to be said there. So,
Jason, can you define what the right fielder or left fielder moving toward the foul line looks like or means? A little bit more in depth instead of just saying that blanket statement.
Yeah. So what I would consider the left fielder, right fielder moving towards the foul line would be probably 2 to 3 steps hard that direction. Connor, what would be your thought process there?
Running or sprinting towards the foul line.
There you go. Running or sprint. That's
obviously better. And that's, slow play that, right?
Yep.
If the ball's going to land near the foul line, we know that based on the flight path of the ball, how it comes up the bat, because immediately we're going to flip our mask, gauge the ball. You can tell if it's tailing hard to the line. Find your fielder, right? The fielder has to take 2 or 3 steps and they're camped underneath it. They're not moving towards the line. Are they making the catch on the move towards the foul line? And that's what we should be looking for. And that's when we as a plate umpire should be taking over responsibility for that call.
It's really good. That's much better than what I had for an explanation. So very good. Thanks, Connor, for jumping in. Fair foul coverage with R1 only and U1 in the B position. Plate umpire has responsibility for all balls down the first and third base line. U1 has no responsibility in this situation. But as Connor alluded to earlier, even when he was on the line, but even here in the middle, it's okay to take a peek just so you kind of maybe have an idea just in case something happens and there's a blatant hoops out there.
So, Jason, I have a question for you. Want to go back one slide for me, please? All right. So we have a ball, and we need to make sure we define what a trouble ball is, because I'm going to use that term quite frequently. Okay. So, I'll ask you this: what are the reasons or criteria to go out on a fly ball from the A position? So this is even back further.
Okay. Yep. Definitely converging fielders. The situation where we want to go out. Anything that looks like it's going to threaten the wall. And anything that is going to threaten the fair foul line down the right field line as a.
One more.
Add it in, Jacob.
At or below the waist.
Oh, there you
All
go.
that is caught at or below the waist, two fielders converging, fair foul threatened, or the fence or the wall is threatened. Those are your four criteria to go out.
Yep, boundary line.
Boundary line.
Because most people consider the wall to be home run, not a home run. Not foul ball tailing into foul territory down the right field line, where we're going to have a catch at the fence, right? When we say the fence or the wall, we all think home run versus ball hitting the wall. But we do have to go out on that ball that tails hard to the fence, which doesn't threaten fair foul, right? Because it's clearly not going to land near the foul line. But it's do we catch it? Do we not? Do we catch it falling over the fence? We have to be out on that as well.
Perfect. We did this fair foul coverage with A. All right, now we have moved runners with first and second. So therefore, the base umpire is not going to be what we consider the C position between second and third base over here. Plate umpire's coverage area is still the same, as is base umpires. As Connor said, moving towards the line, that's making a catch on the run, not just a couple steps and camped under. That was a really good call out on his part there. So, but exact same
Jason,
thing.
one thing.
Go ahead.
One thing that I want to talk about as far as going out on fly balls here, because this is a great opportunity here to talk about this. So we have a fly ball that is hit right there. Okay. Both the center fielder and the right fielder crash hard on that ball. You have two fielders converging on a ball, and most likely that ball would be caught at or below the waist. Can I, as the base umpire, go and do this? Where did that go? There we go. Or I'll even do you one more. Can I go here? Remember, we're in two umpires. We're not three. We're not in 3 or 4. We're in 2.
Right. Personally, I would not. I would get myself, we're talking about the angle over the distance. I would not want to leave the dirt as in the two umpire crew, because now we are leaving R1, R2, and our batter runner all the responsibility with the plate umpire, which is a lot. So I personally do not want to go out on that, Jake.
Well, I think that's very fair. I'll tell you what I'm doing is I'm coming right here, because the general rule is we are not going to go out. You don't go out from the middle in the two umpire system. And if we're in the 3 or 4 umpire system, still that's incredibly advanced, and that's not, you're better off being here. And, because the thing is I'm 27. I'm in really good shape, but I'm not going to get, if I'm starting in C position here, I'm not going to get to probably even where that short arrow is in blue, but where I need to get stopped and get set. Get into the spot with the red, absolutely, that's totally doable, and I can be stopped and I can be set. And I would be gaining what, 15 feet and be moving at the time that I have to make a call, as opposed to being 15 feet further away, stopped and set and ready. I know which one I'm taking. And not just because the book says you can't go out from the middle in the 2 umpire system.
Also,
Go to the
go ahead,
open
Connor.
glove side.
Yes.
Go to the open glove side. Get in the cutout. And then once the play happens, if you have a catch, then you can take 2 to 3 additional steps out to rule on that if you need to and get closer and gain ground to create the illusion of being on top of that play. We can't go out in the 2 umpire system from the middle because then we have more runners and bases than umpires. And while angle over distance is the key to being a good 2-person umpire, as the plate guy, we cannot anticipate or we cannot get into good position for a play at the plate if our base umpire goes out from the middle. It's statistically, like, I don't care who you are, you're not going to get in position for a play at the plate to have a good look at it. If that ball's dropped or if that tag up happens, we're SOL on that. So 2-person, anytime you're in the middle, don't go out.
And just to add on to that, when you're an A, you can go out, but as E1, your responsibility is to get batter runner at the plate if there is a play back there. So just keep that top of mind.
We'll have a video on that later.
Okay.
You have that video of the track meet that my good friend and I had a couple years ago. Was blowing
It's
like
actually
50.
changed. If you go out, stay out. You don't come back to the plate in the CCA.
Two
The plate
umpires.
umpire's responsibility for everything. If the umpire goes out from A.
I'll trust you, Connor. Bases loaded. Jake's artwork is still here, but
I got it. I got you. I got you.
U1 is still in C, and fly ball coverage exactly the same as it was previously. Just want to give you guys this look for illustration purposes so you guys know where it is. Now we'll go to the super fun question of what is a catch? And since SDUA is now going, we are buying NFHS rule books for all members of the umpire SDUA in South Dakota. That's what we're using for our definition today. And on a batted ball, according to NFHS Rule 2-9-1, we need to have 2 things to have a catch. We have to have firm and secure possession of the baseball in the hand or glove, and voluntary release of the baseball to have a catch on a batted ball. Anybody have any questions on that? Nope. All right. Then we go on to a throwing ball and what we need to have a catch considered there. This is also NFHS Rule 2-9-1 and the note underneath the rule. And we just need to have one thing to have a catch on a throwing ball. Firm and secure possession of the baseball in the hand or glove. And then this is a direct quote out of the rule book. I found this interesting the first time I read it. The term firm and secure possession is used loosely to also apply to a pickup or to the trapping of a low throw which has touched the ground. The ball is considered to be in the fielder's grasp, even though the ball is touching the ground while in the fielder's glove. So after conferring with more veteran umpires than myself, I believe we have come to the conclusion that that means the fielder can have the ball palmed in his glove and ball could still be touching the ground, but if he has secure possession in his glove of the ball, we're getting the out. Connor, Jake, you guys have any alternative interpretation of that? Nope. All right. Seeing none. I will try to pull up some videos here quick, and we can kind of go over catch, no catch. Sorry about that, guys. Share here. I think it should be popped up now. You guys got it?
Yep.
All right, the first video we have here. Batted ball out to center fielder. Sliding catch at or below the waist. Has it in his glove. And then we don't have the ball anymore. So on that video, one more time here. I'd say. What's that, Dan?
Sorry, I got a catch. I'm
You
umpiring.
I have firm and secure possession here. I don't think I have voluntary release. I don't think I'm getting the catch there.
That hand goes to the glove and the glove moves as if to release. That's voluntary release right there. If it's in.
Yeah.
You got it. All right, you're giving him the catch.
Absolutely. Because
Love
he's
it.
reaching for the ball. Hang on, let me get it. Run it back one more time, Jake. Call it live.
I'm not the one in control today. This is weird. I have ceded control.
Oh my God. You never really had much. Run it again.
Show all right. This is the one right here to show. So
Back it up.
go back like 2 frames.
Like where he gets up. Right there. Okay. So play and then pause.
Going
Pause.
now.
His hands are coming together.
Yep.
Which means he's making an attempt to take the ball out of the glove.
Sure,
Now,
yes, sir.
a long time ago, I was taught this, and it hasn't failed me yet.
Ball goes forward.
What direction does the ball go?
Yep.
Right? Think double play transition.
Let's not over fucking. No. But it's a good right line. I like what he's saying. Don't argue with Connor, you motherfucker. Oh, are we recording?
Dan, we're recording.
Yes.
Damn it.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm in Florida on umpiring time. You people need to put up with my tomfoolery. No, but I think he's exactly right.
It's not an absolute, but it's a pretty good indicator.
Darn right it is.
Hands are going together. Ball comes away from the body and not straight down.
Yeah.
Percentages will tell you that that's voluntary release.
Yeah, I like it.
It's not, like I said, it's not an absolute, but when that happens, it's generally accepted that they have caught the ball and have voluntary release.
Perfect.
Generally accepted.
Correct.
Maybe it's a Twins fan in me that doesn't want him to catch that ball. Maybe that was the problem.
There we go. Now we're admitting the bias. There we go.
Now we're getting, I'll be honest. All right. Let's go to play number 2 here. Played it through. I did not. Drive to right center. Center fielder's going back against the wall. Appears we have it in the glove, and then we don't have the ball anymore. Here we have firm and secure possession, but no voluntary release. So we have no catch in this situation.
I
Similar
love how that
situation.
video skips out at the worst part.
Yeah, similar situation, but instead of running into the wall, we hit it on the backside. But again, same concept. No voluntary release. Center fielder catches the ball, runs into the wall. All of a sudden, we don't have a ball in the glove anymore. Situation that we won't find ourselves in very often, but have to be aware of it that if we do, really should play this with the audio on, Jake, because the commentary behind this is pretty good.
I'll ask the question. I'll ask the question for everybody. Jason, I know you're gonna referee football on my football crew this year. Do you have a football move here? And if so, how does that affect the outcome of this play?
Well, yes, if it was football, we would have a catch. He did make a football move, but unfortunately in baseball, that's not applicable, and we don't have voluntary release because he hit the wall and decided to drop the ball over the wall. So our batter got a home run that he was probably, let's see, roughly here. Yeah, he was a good 10-foot short probably of actually getting a home run, but he gets one.
So the reason I bring football into this is minor league baseball. And we love commentators because commentators say the darndest things. They're like kids. And so the commentator is incredibly confused at how this can be a home run. I mean, he's absolutely bewildered. And he goes, well, he made a football move. I mean, he took 4 steps. I mean, it's in football, if you make a football move, and I realize that is baseball. Well, yes, sir, it is baseball. There is no such thing as a baseball move. Firm and secure possession, free and voluntary release of the ball. That's it.
What if the fielder would have changed directions before running into the wall with the baseball? So let's say for your catch, no catch. Catches it, hits the wall, changes direction, drops it. And now he's coming back into the infield. Would that be considered a catch or not?
Dan says yes.
So I got to play. I got to play. In fact, with one of the guys that's on my crew today, Garrett was there. Aaron Stokey was calling umpire. It's in a conference tournament. It's a Nuts championship. St. Thomas kid runs full speed, absolutely lays out at St. John's. Ball's deep in glove, bounces, rolls. Glove is out in front of him. He hits the pole, which I don't know why it's like this, but it's like a cemented pole holding the fence up, and the baseball rolls across his chest. I mean, he absolutely put himself out. He was unconscious for more than a minute. I'm on the plate. Had I known that, he's done. I'm not having concussion protocol for a kid that needs to go to the hospital. He re-entered our game. That's another story. But he hit that post, and that was Chris Oline's. He changed direction. And Aaron goes, yeah, when he was unconscious. it was not a voluntary change of direction. So it is a consideration, a little bit like what Connor just said, with the ball going in the direction where the hand was. That's more consistent with its voluntary release. If he changes direction, I've got something I can defend. And I'm not talking about how many steps he took. Because quite frankly, one of the plays we trained on was if a center fielder runs in and makes a catch below his waist, takes 2 more steps, and then flips the ball with his glove toward the mound, that's a voluntary release. But if he's catching it, running it, takes 4 steps and simply drops it, it's not a catch. And that's what you've got to be able to process. It has to be an intentional, voluntary decision on the part of the fielder. And if he changes direction, he's telling you something. He's got a catch. He's completed it.
Is
I
G
like
with
the
you right
NCAA
now?
rule for this, because the NCAA rule, and I don't know if the high school rule has this explicitly written, but only 2 circumstances may be interpreted as creating voluntary and intentional release. When the momentum of the catch is complete, i.e. fielder's reverse direction is running the ball back towards the infield, or when the fielder is reaching for the ball to make a throw. So when the momentum of the catch is complete. And that's one of the caveats that we have to discern, and that's what Dan talked about. If I'm running forward and I catch the ball and I flip it, well, am I reaching for the ball to make a throw? No. But am I throwing the ball? Yes. Has my momentum stopped, and now I'm under my own body control. And that's what makes a difference on whether or not that momentum is completed. And it's very tough on some of these plays to think about that and go, did the momentum stop? Did they change direction? Because it doesn't necessarily say they have to change direction. It just lists that as an example. So be really slow. It's a catch until it's not. So you can signal a catch when they get to the dugout, right? So just be really slow and take your time, replay it in your head, and then make a decision. You don't have to be Johnny on the spot with it, because when we determine it's a catch, it has no bearing on the rest of the play unless it is a catch.
This is straight out of the NFHS rulebook, Connor. I can read it. It's kind of lengthy, but it touches on a few things. A catch is the act of a fielder in getting secure possession in the hand or glove of a live ball in flight and firmly holding it, provided the fielder does not use the cap, protector, mask, pocket, or other part of the uniform to trap the ball. The catch of a fly ball by a fielder is not completed until the continuing action of the catch is completed. A fielder who catches a ball and then runs into a wall or another player and drops the ball has not made a catch. A fielder at full speed who catches a ball and whose initial momentum carries the fielder several more yards, after which the ball drops from the fielder's glove, has not made a catch. When the fielder, by the action of stopping, removing the ball from the glove, etc., signifies the initial action is completed and then drops the ball, this will be judged to have made the catch. The same definition of a catch would apply when making a double play. It is considered a catch if a fielder catches a fair or foul ball and then steps or falls into a bench, dugout, stand, bleacher, or over any boundary or barrier.
I think you hit the part that mattered there, Jason.
What's up?
I think you hit the part that mattered there with the change of or it comes to a stop.
Yep.
So if I come to a stop, I have to change direction. I have to stop to change directions.
Yep. Which is what Dan was talking about, which is what your question was alluding to.
Yes. So it's great that it puts it in there. But it's something to think about on some of these plays, because did he change directions? Did the momentum keep going? Did he stop? And what all does that entail? How do you define changing direction? Right? And we can kind of play around with that a little bit. There's a little bit of laxity in that verbiage, but ultimately be really, really, really slow and let the players decide. They'll tell you what they think it was.
All right. That's kind of all I got for today, I guess. I'm just going to put one plug in for those of us in South Dakota. SDA UA meetings do start this week. I will be going out to Winter this evening to attend theirs. Jake has another video for us to look at here, but just guys be cognizant of that work in South Dakota to get your clinic in.
You're so nice. All right. So let's talk about the mechanics of going out on a fly ball. because there are
Screen, Jake.
things. Oh,
I want a 10% cut.
no. Okay.
Still
let's
wrong
fix
screen.
that.
Well,
got
he's
still
figuring
working
this
on it.
out. There's also a meeting in Vermillion on Tuesday the 12th at 6:30.
Perfect. Next Tuesday.
There we go. All right. There we go. Now we should be good. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So I'm going to play this through. Actually, I'm going to move this back over. I got a dual monitor set up here at work. And let's get everything synced up here. All right. No runners on. I don't remember what inning or anything like that. So play it through first, and then we'll talk about the play here that we have.
Your base umpire looks like an
All right.
athlete out there. Great job by that guy.
The plate umpire, I would like to say, is more of an athlete than the base umpire.
Base guy looks great.
So, oh yeah, I'll walk on the field with the base umpire any day of the week. All right, so let's break this down. Okay, so we have a fly ball, and we immediately have two fielders that are converging on each other. My partner athletically reads that this is a trouble ball. Two fielders converging on each other, and this ball would be caught, if it were caught, at or below the waist. So I'm going to try to back up so everybody can see on camera. I'm going out. Right hand in the air, point out. I am going out. Try to communicate if possible. If you can't communicate that pregame, if you see my shoulders, I'm going out. Like that's an easy way to understand it and communicate, hey, I am going out. Okay.
I believe,
So
Jake,
I'm gonna get ready to start.
Jake, I believe this is one of those good, like 70, 80 mile an hour windy days we get in the wonderful state of South Dakota.
Wind is blowing this way at 40 miles an hour. I will just tell you that.
It was super windy that day. So I remember we did pregame that anything that was up in the air out, we were going. So anyway, go on.
Was this you with me, or was this Matt that was with me?
I think this is me and you.
Okay.
This is an
I
athlete
don't
too.
remember.
Maybe it was him. He's an athlete too.
If you're going, yell your partner's name. Don't say out, because that will confuse people. Players will not be able to discern what you mean from that. But I'm usually like, Jake, I'm going. Because if I yell my partner's name, he's immediately going to perk up and notice that I'm yelling at him. And he's going to draw his attention to me because he's responding to the sound of his voice like everybody does anytime somebody yells their name. Because what you want to do is get their attention and make sure they're looking at you, which is what is necessary in this moment. On the flip side of that, if I'm not going to go and I'm the base umpire, Jake, that's all you. And I'll yell at him to let him know, especially if it's a tweener. That way he knows he's got to get enough distance to get out to read this ball.
If I am responsible for it, I am going about here. Maybe here. Get as far as I can and leave it and just get stopped and get set. Okay. That is if my partner comes in. Okay. So clear that. So my partner reads this in our pregame. It was, we have 45 mile an hour winds today. Pretty much everything is going to be a trouble ball. And so we came in knowing that we're probably going to be running a lot today. So we immediately, I read my partner. My partner is headed that way. And he is just gaining enough distance and getting to a point where he can be stopped and set for the moment of, if there's a catch or not a catch, so he can rule on that. So we'll move forward here just a little bit more.
One thing that I'm going to chime in on this, when you go out, don't run at the place where the ball is going to be caught, because you're going to end up blocked out of something. Run to get an angle to where you can see where the ball is going to be caught at. If you run at the fielders, you're either going to block yourself out of a view or you're going to run yourself into their way. So run to try to get to the glove side of the person you think is the most likely to catch the ball, because the glove side is the most important thing you can do.
So, and unfortunately you can't really see, but plate umpire, when you come out here, and yes, my head is looking at first base, you're going to get here, you are responsible for the touch right here. So your eyes need to be looking this way because you are responsible for that touch. So you come up and around the mound. Don't get in the habit of going up and over the hill. Go around it.
That's great advice, because there's a great video of yours truly here trying to go over the mound at one point after a rain game, and I fall down and look really, really athletic doing that as well.
There's video of that. I'd like to see that.
There is video of that.
Great. I hope you send it to me. So then we keep coming in, and we're going to get into a track system here, because we're going to have a play where I don't even know who this is. I think this is not sure. But this player is going to relay, and we're going to have a play here at second base. So get hip pocket of shortstop. I think that's second baseman that's out there right now. And just be right in a position to make a play. So I'll back this up and run it through one more time, and then I'll kind of break down the play, what we do after. So we have to play here. All right, so now my partner is coming into the infield. Okay. And right here, you see me, back this up here. Okay. Remember a couple weeks we talked about, umpiring with the camera and using signals. I am pointing with my left hand at him because he has said, Jake, I have the infield. And I am acknowledging that he has the infield, because now I'm able to focus on what's going on over here at the dugout and work my way home. Play it one more time. Connor, you got anything else on this one?
Where's the baseball when you cede control over the infield to your base umpire? Does the pitcher have it already?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I think Jake did a really good job on this play, getting out and around the mound. You need to see the touch, but you also need to have an idea of where the runner is, making sure they don't get obstructed, making sure that if they stop and decide to go back to first, you have to be in a position to get an angle at that play back into first base. These plays are really tough because you're going to lose sight of the location of the tag at some point in this play. You can't get on the outside. You can't get into a position where you can see where that tag is most likely going to be applied, which typically is on the outside. You have a follow fielder who's trying to run into your area and is going to potentially screen you out of something. So what I would probably do is I'm going to have an arm out and just say, give me a look, and communicate as I go through this play. So he knows there's a fielder there. There's going to be a play, and I'm doing everything I can to make sure I have an open window with this. Ends up being not particularly close, which is good. But if we let that first baseman cross our field of vision, general rule of thumb is that's when the tag is going to happen. And you're going to have no idea what happened on that play. So work with what you can, just like a play at the plate, clear your area, make sure everybody knows you're there trying to get a look at a play. And generally they will listen to you and do what you ask them to do.
Jake, I have a question.
Yeah, what's up, Mike?
There's no runners on base, so you could obviously go away to second base, but where if there was like runners on first and second when this ball was hit, in the first base umpire went out, where would you locate yourself on the field so you could make the call at second, third, or I mean, if you don't know where the ball's going?
On the mound.
No, hang on. Mike, are you asking? So you're saying that we got runners on base and the base umpire goes out?
Same play, but is this? But if there's a runner on base or two runners on base, or
So we don't go out from the middle in the two umpire system.
okay.
So
Yeah.
in this situation, if we just got a runner on first base, base umpire is going to be about there.
Yep, my
Maybe
fault.
a little bit further
You already went over this before.
That's all right, but we have
Mike,
a visual here that we can talk about.
Good.
Mike, if your
Go ahead,
partner goes
Connor.
out in the middle, if your partner goes out in the middle, go stand on the mound.
Okay.
Because like at the mound, you are a step away from having a great angle on 85% of plays that are going to happen on any base, right? Because you can see the angle of where we're sliding in on either side of the base. Now, are you going to be in a great position? No. But that will put you in if you're like, I will literally go out and stay on the middle of the mound. Because then I have the option to take 2 steps to gain distance and maybe a step to the side to gain a different angle if I have time to adjust. And then that is a conversation with the coach that is not going to be fun to have unless it's absolutely easy, right? And it's going to be, coach, listen, I know you don't like it. I don't like it either. I was out of position, but I was in the best position I could be in for that play and for any other play that might have occurred. And you can stand here for, and I typically, like in this situation, coach, you got 30 seconds to vent to me, and then we're done. Because I worked my butt off on this play to get to the best position I could to make a call wherever that baseball happened to be. And I did the best I could with it. And either way, somebody's not going to be happy. And then it's going to be a very pointed post-game discussion with my partner about that play.
All right. The thing that I really like about what Connor said, and this is one of those takeaways for handling situations that I want everybody to not grasp, but just take away from this, okay? We have a broken mechanic here. The base umpire has done something that we should not be doing. But if you notice the way that Connor explained it to the coach, Connor took the heat for it, okay? And that is having your partner's back. That's being a crew guy, okay? And absolutely, there will be a conversation post-game about that because we don't go out from the infield. But Connor's absolutely right. If we get into a situation where we do have this happen, whether it be a brain fart or we just don't know, that is what you go stand on the mound. Now, if you are the base umpire in this situation, base umpire is going to start at the red X, give or take. If you're going to take this play from a catch, no catch standpoint, I'm going to try to put the V up here too. So the V, oops, the V being here and here. That's your fly ball coverage area. So that is clearly in the base umpire's fly ball coverage area. So If I'm the base umpire, I'm going to one of these two X's depending on which glove is going to be open to me and who I think is going to catch the ball. Just kind of like what Connor was saying. So it's just a couple steps, get stopped and get set. And then just kind of like I treat the base line as if it's kind of a restraining area of sorts. So I might get a step into the baseline, but no more than that. But that white line is basically a don't cross. If you know, in the two umpire system, the distance that you would be gaining is not worth moving when the action is occurring. Great question, though, Mike. Any other questions? All right, let's do this. Connor, we're doing what? Interference next week?
Yeah, I believe so.
Sweet. Should be a fun one. Unfortunately, I will not be here next week, but I trust you guys are in safe hands. I'm going to stop the recording, but if you guys have questions or anything like that, feel free to stick around for a few minutes. I'm going to stop the recording here if I can remember how to do it. It would help if I was on the right computer. There